All right, folks, get ready. We're diving into a world of fierce warriors and bloody vengeance. Up close, we have a character with a bright red helmet, his face completely obscured, giving a totally mysterious vibe. He's decked out in a dark jacket, and you can see the hilt of a sword strapped to his back. Now, check out those bone-like claws that are just reaching out, practically surrounding him. Standing right behind him, a woman with stark dark hair and piercing yellow eyes stares out with a look that could kill. Her lips are tight, and you can just feel the intensity radiating off of her. She has pale arms, and we can just catch the edge of a red fabric. The entire scene is set against a deep red backdrop with red splatters here and there, giving a sense of chaos and danger. Okay, things are getting intense. We're in what's labeled as the Changeling, Deathstrike's quarters, and this is where things are heating up. The red helmeted figure, with blood splattered all over him, is struggling to hold his sword, saying his grip is slick with his own blood, claiming to be immortal and unable to be controlled. But the woman is not backing down. She's moving with lightning speed, and we can see her bone-like claws are extended as she yells KIA, thrusting a sword straight into the side of the helmeted character's head, blood gushing out. She's fast, folks. We get a view of her moving, her black hair flying, claws extended ready for attack. It's like she's a force of nature. Then we switch views as she is crouched low, ready to strike again. A bark says, Lady Deathstrike is lightning. She's been with me all along. She's been waiting for this moment, breaking down your defenses. The red helmeted figure weakly trying to hold her back, with a speech bubble saying, no. No, she. And she's close with her hand on his shoulder, her voice telling him that she has made him vulnerable and she will discard him, saying it's time for you to die. This is not going to end well for him. All right, buckle up because we're switching gears. In the first panel, we see a big, grinning character with sharp teeth, and he's telling everyone, we have you. Next to him is a figure with dreadlocks and a gold mask on his face. Then, we see a striking blue-skinned woman with bright red hair who says, where is Shargan? I want to talk to him, who tells the dreadlocked masked figure junk. Activate the spectral disruptors we set up. The dreadlocked figure says, okay, disruptors are on. Suddenly, a blonde man with a very serious look on his face says, wait. Then there is the blue-skinned woman, along with the dreadlocked figure, and two more figures are there, the blonde man from before and a shirtless man with a mohawk. They are surrounded by a pink glowing cloud. The blue woman says, I hope this works, while the dreadlocked man says, where did? What? Next we see the shirtless man with the mohawk, the woman with dark hair saying Sabretooth, Dakin. Like we planned. There is a pink cloud floating above the woman with red hair and blue skin. She is explaining to a character who resembles a dog that the Looper's souls are tied to a gland and they can't be killed, and also that a gun that shoots across universes was found in the negative zone. Another panel shows the blue woman saying that she stole the information to clone the Lupak. The next panel shows another character with bone-like claws screaming with the pink glowing cloud behind him. The blue-skinned woman holds a weapon and tells them that it sounds really weird when you fire it. Check this out, the bone-clawed figure says RRRR, and is about to attack a figure. Another figure yells no. Leave him alone, while a man puts an arm out in front of the person yelling, saying easy, Laura. This group is not messing around, folks. The chaos has been unleashed, folks. A ba-tuum sound effect crashes across the top of the panel as we see the woman in red standing triumphantly, saying, yes, my love. She informs the red-helmeted figure that he's at death's door, adding that there are no more healing syringes to help him. On the right side of the panel, we've got the Lupak figures, two of them, attacking and yelling we have him. Next, we see a panel with the red-helmeted figure being completely overwhelmed with blood, saying S-Plutch. Yes, the woman in red is standing behind him and says now. In the last panel, we have an up-close of the Lupak figures with bone claws yelling, and they say now in his last breath I will take him. And he will, and the scene cuts to an image of a long sword. We're keeping up the fast pace as we flip to the next panel. We see a Lupak figure flying through the air with a bright golden flash, and the woman in red says he will be gone, then questions what? Where, cut to the scene with the blue woman yelling no. No, he couldn't have. Then we see her telling the masked figure Junk, give me a full system scan. Where is Fang? Another figure replies, I got nothing, Mystique. Next, the woman with dark hair yells, he's gone. No, 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 no. Where is he? While her eyes are wide with alarm. Then, the bone-clawed character tells the group you hit that gland or whatever though, and the blue woman says if our data is good, he's disconnected. He can die now. Then, the woman with dark hair yells at them, you're a monster. We've just teleported to a whole new scene, folks. We're now in Galaxy Designate NGC 4945, an unnamed planet, and it is filled with tall, sharp blue crystals. Up above, we have a bubble saying, where is Shargun? Then we see a character in a purple helmet crawling on the ground among the blue crystals, saying, where? No matter, I can just push. Finally, we see the red helmeted figure with a hand grabbing at his face, saying, stop right there. And the fight continues. A fierce, dog-like figure with blue eyes growls, this one's mine, with a huge ah-hoo-woo sound effect right on top of the man with the purple helmet. The man with the purple helmet is facing away from the viewer and appears to have red slashes on his back and a cut on his arm, as the bone-clawed figure is just behind him, with sharp teeth and a determined look on his face, ready for battle. They are still on the planet with sharp blue crystals everywhere. The man with the purple helmet is on his hands and knees with a sound effect of HNNGH, and the bone-clawed figure asks, what? Argun's voice. I can't hear it anymore. What did you do? The bone-clawed figure stands towering over the helmeted man and says, I put him away for a bit. Down deep. I want you here. Then we see a close-up of the purple helmeted figure. The bone-clawed figure says that this whole time he was just trying to figure out who killed Logan, and says that Dakin and X-23 had nothing to do with it, and that he knows that Sabretooth messed up the way he came back, and that he tortured him for his part. The purple helmeted figure is kneeling on the ground saying, let me, NNGH, save you the trouble of any more games. I am the one you're looking for. If anyone can be blamed for Logan's death, it's me. The bone-clawed figure says, you confess it. Tell me what you did. The bone-clawed figure tells the man with the purple helmet, you look terrible. Mystique really did figure out how to kill you, didn't she? The purple helmeted figure replies, looks like it. I didn't know you humans had access to any kind of weapon that could actually hurt me. The man with the purple helmet then says this here, and grabs the bone-clawed figure. He tells him, this planet has no name, nobody lives here. I've always found the light of its green star to be exceptionally beautiful. As he is hugging him, the bone-clawed figure then asks, and when that light first hits the crystals, they make the most wonderful sound. The bone-clawed figure, now crying, and with blood coming from his arm, tells him I have enough energy to send you back home if I want. Or you can stay here in these beautiful caves, light years from Earth, until you die. Tell me what happened with Logan. We are now flashing back as we see a bong sound effect, the bone-clawed figure and the man with the purple helmet standing among blue crystals. The purple helmeted figure asks the bone-clawed figure, could you use that energy to heal yourself instead? The bone-clawed figure replies, stop. Stop wasting time. Tell me everything. The purple helmeted figure is then shown telling the story, saying it was just a fight. It was. I'm not very good at talking. The guy who made me made both of us. His name was Cornelius. Logan came looking for him to put a stop to his experiments. We then get a close-up of Wolverine's face with cuts and blood, and the purple helmeted figure continues, and I had a job to do. I went for it all out. Then an image of Wolverine being hit. He says he fought like hell. He was half dead, burned, all busted up, not healing. It wasn't a fair fight at all. And finally, we see the purple helmeted figure with another close-up of Wolverine, bloody, saying, but I remember laying this terrible beating on him and he just wouldn't drop. The purple helmeted figure says, I'd cut him up so bad I thought he was dead for sure. But he stood there. He looked at me, like he was waiting. Sometimes you get ready to put the knife in the last time and they just wait for you. We are still in the flashback as we see a close-up of Wolverine's face. His eye is blackened and he has many cuts. He says, But his eye, like a hole, punched right through the world. There were lifetimes of pain there, so much more than I could ever imagine. I'd never been so scared of anybody in my life. Then the panel cuts to another view of Wolverine, saying I wanted him dead. I wanted that eye to go away. Then we see him being held by someone and he says, I gave it everything I had. In the next panel, the red helmeted figure tells the bone-clawed figure, that's the last thing I remember. He knocked me out when I came to. I found out he destroyed the lab, killed Cornelius, ruined all of Cornelius' work, made it so that nobody else could carry it on. Then we see the full view of the scene with the rising sun, and the red helmeted figure says, then he made it up to the roof, where he must have kneeled to face the sun, and he died. Back in the present, the red helmeted figure says to the bone-clawed figure, I knew he'd die fighting. Then the bone-clawed figure responds, I wish I'd been there, but I know what he'd want me to do now. Then we see the purple-helmeted figure yell, revenge, and a hark sound effect. Then the bone-clawed figure yells Argon is finally buried, while his hands are on his head, and the red-helmeted figure says, I'm not going to let you take my life away from me now, all right. Folks, they're going at it. The red-helmeted figure and the bone-clawed figure are tumbling around, a flurry of motion. The red figure is kicked in the face by the bone-clawed figure. The bone-clawed figure yells, stop. Then we get a close-up of the bone-clawed figure yelling, listen. Then we have a wider view with a speech bubble coming from the bone-clawed figure that says, listen, fool. Revenge is not what he would want. That's what I was trying to say. He then asks the red-helmeted figure, do you hear me? Finally, we have the red-helmeted figure on the ground and the bone-clawed figure looking down at him asking, don't you know anything about who he was? And the red-helmeted figure replies, revenge is for animals. The bone-clawed figure is looking up with a bloody nose, saying so. Then we see him again with a speech bubble saying, go home. And then we see a transparent yellow image of the man with the purple helmet saying, no, wait, we see the bone-clawed figure sitting among the blue crystals, with the sun in the background. All right, we are back in the main room. Lady Deathstrike is standing, yelling Deathstrike, what's the matter, while staring intently at the blue-skinned woman. We see the blue-skinned woman asking where is, and the panel then cuts to Lady Deathstrike, who has just moved closer and is asking Shargun. Next, we see a yellow, translucent figure, and the blue woman says want to say I'm sorry. Then we see the red-helmeted figure asking, where's Fang? Did you finish him? While the blue woman stands off to the side. The red-helmeted figure then says no, but I think he's done. We then get a close-up of Lady Deathstrike who says, and who did he leave behind your eyes? Who am I speaking to right now? The panel cuts to a close-up of the red-helmeted figure who replies, hello, Yuriko. We're switching locations again, folks. We're now in Barcelona, Spain. In the first panel, we see a woman with a white mask and a dark braided hairstyle. She is standing in front of a dark red wall with a light-up panel with white mannequins in the background. We see a black animal with a long tail sticking out of a circular object. A thought bubble says, what did you say? The woman says, I said, you better just come in and have a look, Pep. I don't remember stealing this one. So I was wondering who put it here. She then holds up a yellow outfit with a thought bubble that says, well, it qualifies, Phantomel. It is a costume Wolverine once wore. The next panel we see the woman wearing a white and yellow jacket and holding a box, saying I do love a mystery. Next, we see a close-up of the woman saying, what about this one? Another panel shows her holding up a yellow and blue outfit, and a black animal with a red collar has grabbed onto a part of it. A speech bubble says, Culpepper. Give me that. And the final panel shows a close-up of the woman, who is looking at the yellow and blue fabric, with a speech bubble saying I'm saving that one for somebody special. All right, things are getting interesting. We see the woman from the previous panels lying down in a circular vehicle. A black animal is next to her. A thought bubble reads, another clumsy attempt at flirtation. You rascal. Another thought bubble says, hush yourself. Dear, this time my motives are selfless. The panel then cuts to the circular vehicle, now with a helicopter in the background. The woman is still in the circular vehicle, with a thought bubble saying, well, mostly selfless. And another thought bubble saying, well, all right, not selfless at all. The helicopter says, right on time. The client is here. Coming in a little fast though, don't you think? Well, maybe he. The next panel we see the man from before with the dreadlocks and he yells, look out. Then we see an explosion with a blam sound effect. The woman is in the circular vehicle that is completely engulfed in flames. A whoomph sound effect is there and she says, ugh. Mondays. Next, the woman is standing up with a view of the vehicle completely on fire and she says, am I right? Mondays. Another panel shows the helicopter firing multiple rounds with a bracka 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 sound effect. The woman says, hey, there are cookies in the glove compartment. I didn't even know these things had glove compartments. The last panel shows the woman holding a rocket, and she says also there was this. The rocket is launched, and we see a huge waboom sound effect. The panel cuts to an image of the red helmeted figure amidst the fire. He says, ugh, then a thought bubble that says, I've changed my mind. I believe our client is dangerously insane. We should, and the man with the dreadlocks says he is. Yes, in response. Then the woman is looking at the fire with a smile on her face and says, isn't it just wonderful? The last panel shows the woman with the black animal as she picks up a briefcase and says, you got all my stuff, right? Here you go, doggy. Macho Dino. The man in a red and black suit is standing next to a burning building, holding up the yellow and blue fabric. He says, oh yeah, I totally remember this one. This is, I'd say, maybe very fine condition or maybe good. This is what everybody's been waiting for, right? Come to daddy. There's a new Wolverine in town. We see the woman from before holding the suitcase, and the black animal is next to her. And that's a wrap, folks. We end with a layout of the original line art. We see two larger panel drawings of the action sequence and the scene in the room. Below that we have two smaller panel drawings titled Sinister's Army and twist of the typical image of Wolverine with claws in front. Thanks for tuning in. Stay curious, stay awesome, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more amazing content.